Sure. No problem.
We are live. Kindly record. Kindly start the recording.
Yeah, we're live now. You can continue. I'll do the recording. Yeah. You can
Kindly
start, Rajni.
Okay.
Yeah, you can start. Yeah.
So beautiful ladies, we are here today. Welcome to the IIW Career Counseling event. We are here to guide and inspire our viewers towards a successful and fulfilling career path. Let's begin this journey together. I'm your host Rajni Shah, the Deputy Director of Inspiring Indian Women from India. Good evening, everyone. We have with us Mukta Narang ji, Tisha Patel ji, Abha Sandil ji, Priya ji, and Dr. Anjali Nigam. So I would request our guests to introduce themselves so that our viewers come to know them more easily. So I would request Mukta Narangji to start with her little introduction.
Right. So hello, everybody. I am a rapid transformational therapist, wellness coach, and I have an experience of being an academician for more than 18 years. So I think with respect to career, and just to add on, I have a son who's 16 years. So I can actually, by experience, also talk about being in that environment, being with my son and all the students in and around me. So yes, that is a brief background of myself. Thank you.
I would request Dr. Tisha Patel to introduce herself.
Hi, thank you, Rajni. I'm a UK-based GP, so a family practitioner, family doctor in the UK. I'm also a educator, so I teach junior doctors to become GPs. But my passion lies in coaching, so I do executive level career coaching as well as wellness coaching. Due to having a long-term illness as well. And like Muktaji, I come with experience because I have an 18-year-old daughter and she turned 18 yesterday. So we're in the throes of choosing careers for life as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We have Abha Sandilji. Kindly introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Abha Sandil. I am a rapid transformation therapist and life coach as well. And I have come to this career after jumping hoops from different arenas. So, I know all about changing careers and, pursuing your passion when you're going ahead in life. So I really wanted to be a part of this conversation, and I help people now to find their purpose, and when they're feeling disaffected with their careers and their life, how to get back into the zone where they feel they are in charge of their life. So that's why I'm here today, and really looking forward to the conversation.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would request Dr. Anjali Nigamji to introduce herself.
Sure. Thank you so much, Rajni ji, Lakshmi, all of the IIW women who have made this such a happening group from India and helping people like this. This is really awesome because you're spending your time, your energy, you're giving so much to the society. I think this is really wonderful. So thank you for inviting me. And I am Anjali. I have a doctorate in strategic management and business enterprise management from England. I have about 33 years of experience in university teaching, consulting, training, I worked with almost 130 plus corporates, MNCs, Fortune 500 companies, IITs, IIMs, training them, the corporate managers um, to the supervisor level. And it's been a wonderful journey. Um, well, I don't want to blow my trumpet, but we've been awarded at least 7 times internationally. Also received the award for, improving quality of working life by the hands of Honorable Pranab Mukherjee, our President of India, and also by UN Women for Gender Equality, as well as Power to Fly is a very powerful women organization in US, and they had honored about 6 people first time on diversity and inclusion in 22, and I was one of them. So I work with a lot, apart from these things, I am currently senior advisor to Turn Group. Now, Turn is in partnership with NHS England um, and the government of India. We are trying to solve the problem of a very, there is a huge crunch of doctors and nurses and paramedics in NHS and also in care homes of England. So we are working on that, trying to bridge this gap, also provide them the right trainings and also to kind of get the right skilled manpower for for England in healthcare, and especially doctors and nurses. So this is little about me, and I work a lot with startups. The last assignment was as CEO for incubator and accelerate for Indraprastha University, Delhi, 3 colleges. And also I was at IIT Madras, heading the incubator there, and advisor to PUSA, that is Indian Agricultural Research Institute Incubator. So thank you so much once again for inviting me. And I actually got self-invited. I thought I will try to contribute something, since I just came to London on 21st for the events here. So thank you so much.
That's so sweet of you, ma'am. I would like to call Priya, ma'am, and can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. Lovely to be here on this platform. I'm a mortgage and protection advisor. I completely understand what it's like and how difficult it is and the challenges we face at all ages to look for a career. So I'm a mortgage and protection advisor, but I also coach people on finance and becoming more financially literate. And I look forward to speaking with the panel today.
Thank you so much. So the motive of this career event is that we have seen that whenever a child is admitted to a college after his 10th, the parents are always in a, you can say it's a trend that their child should either go to engineering or medical. But apart from that, there are many unexplored career options where students can go and they can pursue their career and can do better in their lives. So parents are in dilemma, and even students are. There is a lot of confusion after 12 what career they should pursue. And eventually, if a student is not from the science background, then he should go for the management line. But after that, also the gap, the generation gap, or you can say the societal gap has not been filled, because there are in spite of having so many options, only medical and engineering colleges are full of crowds, and other best careers are still waiting for students to get their position. So we are here to discuss about the career options and how to pursue them, because only talking is not enough. We should also help them to get their admissions, and if a student is going to get his courses abroad, then there are lots of other processes too. So I would like to listen from Mukta Narangji that why are there so many cases of anxiety and stress in younger generation, and what needs to be done here to support them?
All right, thank you. To start with, I think this is something very common that we see these days. We believe that the kids these days have almost all the opportunities. But the fact is that along with those opportunities, there are so many challenges that they have. Thanks to social media, I would say that probably in our time when the things were not there, it was much simpler because the competitors were, in front of us. We knew what is going on. But right now, the challenge for these kids is the virtual world. And all the time when they are sitting, they are on their phones, they are on the social media, they're consuming so much content. So looking at those people, whatever virtual world they are into, they are their role models. So whenever I feel that there is a conflict in the conscious and subconscious mind that, these are not matching, then they tend to get stressed. Then they tend to get that anxiety thing because your expectations are somewhere else and what you're trying to do is something else. So I generally, when I sit with teenagers, I tell them, this is something that you have to do for almost rest of your life. So when you choose a career, you have to see that, are you ready to do this particular thing for, say, let's 20, 30 years of your life? Then that makes sense. And it should not be a stream, but I believe, what is it? What is your goal? Is it to earn money? Is it to get that kind of significance? Is it to that, that you want to actually help people around? So if you're clear with that, then all the lines are open. It is not only medical or engineering or any per se that this is what you want to do. If you want to help people, you can do that in X number of ways. So that is what I feel, that because we are not sitting with ourselves, we are not going deeper into our belief system, that what is it that I match with? What is it that I really want to do? We just follow whatever is there available on the media and in and around from our peer. And that is where the problem comes in.
So I would like to address here a little thing that only social media is responsible and not family, because when a child is admitted to a school, his or her parents are always up to that. They have set a parameter that you should get 90%. Below that you are not good enough in studies, and you will be marked as an average student, and your teachers and your friends will make mockery of you, and you will not set up your goals higher. So don't you think that parents are also responsible for this kind of creating stress into their kids?
See, I am based out of Netherlands and I am outside India for past 10 years. So if I talk of, there is a difference. International scenario, I don't think so that you can pressurize your kids with anything right now. They are intelligent enough and they are groomed in their schools well enough that they know that what is it that they want to do. But yes, because my background is from India and I have taught there in India, so I understand that yes, that parents and the pressure from the family is still there in India. That I can really go for that, because when I used to teach there to the university students, it was a very sorry state to say, but people were just there because they wanted to have a degree. Because parents say that, you have to get married. If you get your PG degree in whatever field that you're choosing, you'll get a better match. There were students there talking of these kind of languages, which was a very sorry state to be in, that this could also be a criteria to do post-graduation because you have to get a match. They had nothing to do with the career. They had no plans for their future, but just that, okay, I have to come here because if I don't do this, then probably I'll get married to a business class family. So yeah, in India, I can believe that, yes, the parents and family, and that really plays a very important role, which needs to change. It really needs to change.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are coming back to you again. So I would like to ask Abha Sandil ji that what advice would you give to someone who is considering to change a career? If someone wants to switch their career, so what advice would you give to someone, to that person?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Rajni ji. And that's a very good question, actually, because when you're changing careers, firstly, why are you at that stage becomes very critical. And as I mentioned earlier, I have, I started my career as a lecturer in child development, and then I wanted to pursue my higher studies because, I had that fancy for the doctor title. When I was a young child, I wanted to become a doctor because that's what I was told, that, doctor or engineer, one of those options are available to you. So which one do you want to choose? And I wanted to become a doctor. By the time I was in 11th or 12th, I was like, I can't really deal with, dissection and all those kind of things. So I did my sciences in 12th, but after that I was like, sciences are not for me. Sciences as in medical science, to pursue that, I wasn't really very confident. So I pursued, other arenas where I could, because, doctor's profession is about helping people. And that's where I figured out, maybe I need to, and that happened very organically. I didn't really think about, when I was choosing home science as my option at graduation level, that I will go into helping people. But I landed up doing child development, which is all about children, helping children, understanding them and being able to help in a different way. I was then lecturer at my own university for a while before I pursued my doctorate, because I wanted to be the doctor. I had wanted to have the doctor in my title. But after, as often happens in women's in the lives of women, that initially I didn't get a job in the same field that I was working. I got married and I went into e-commerce, because that allowed me to take care of my child while I was working on earning some money. So when we are thinking of career change, I think there has to be a fine balance between earning and what you really want in your life. So initially, for 5 years, I was working as an e-commerce manager with a company based in US. I was working from home. It allowed me to, run my life in a good balance, but at the same time, earn money, because that gave me validity that I'm bringing in something into my family, contributing to the income of my family. As I said, I trained in education. I'd done educational research. I'd done child development. So there came a time when I got really frustrated in that role. I was like, I really didn't want to pursue. And as luck worked out, the company was downsizing, and they said, okay, your contract ends now. And I was like, what do I do now? I was at a crossroads where I couldn't figure out what and how to kind of pursue, because I didn't have, that 5 years gap that was there from education field. I felt, I'm not good enough to go back into education at that time. So my husband asked me one question that really, really helped me. My husband asked me that if money was not an object, what would you want to do in your life right now? And that usually happens, because I was almost nearing 40 at that time. So that became a very critical question. And my boss at that time advised me that, take your time, don't rush into a career. Very few people get the chance to change a career. So if you're really pushing yourself to change a career and go back, because I didn't want to pursue e-commerce anymore, I was very sure of that. So he said that take your time, don't rush into it. And initially I tried my hand at teaching, because I knew I wanted to work with children and inculcate a growth mindset in them. Somehow that was, when I am based in UK, and in UK it's a much more pressured environment. And there was also a bit of, racism that I felt within school settings, because they are very, very British in the way they in the way they were approaching things, and which was fine. Like, I was open to the idea, I was open to learn, but I think because I was working from home for a long time, it became a bit tricky for me. And I was not getting the support that I needed. And that's when that's when I was able to, that's when I thought that, okay, let me train as a therapist because I can continue to deal with children. And it opened up very different possibilities for me. So I think the most important question was, what would you do in your life if money was not an object? And also taking the time to, explore things. I went out, met people, talked to them about teaching opportunities first, and then, how therapy would help me at later stage, and what could I really do and contribute. And you have to listen to your heart, you have to listen to your gut. And because, career change comes at a later stage in life. I do want to mention that as a client, I had an IIT student recently, and there was so much pressure she was feeling after doing 4 years of engineering, running a successful job. She came to me when she was in year 4, and she was feeling she has wasted all her 4 years of her life because she was feeling so much pressure to still go out there and be something in life. So there was a lot of social anxiety. After working with me, she was able to kind of, make something out of it. She did a job that was after her heart. But eventually she was so aligned with herself and what she really wanted to do in her life that she went on to train as a yoga teacher. And she's happy where she is now. She switched careers into yoga after doing an IIT degree. So people have to, think about what they really want to, what gives them fulfillment, what gives them happiness deep down when they're thinking of a career change.
So well said, ma'am. But everybody doesn't have the choice. Everybody cannot make that choice because they have their own responsibilities. And when you are pulling your own carriage, you will understand that what you have in your cart. So when you are fortunate that you got that opportunity, but I'm talking about those people who are who wants to hear their heart, but again their responsibilities are not allowing them. So how to deal with it? This becomes a challenge because initially we see that in cases of girls, mostly in cases of girls, when you are married to someone who may be earning well, but again the family or the husband himself doesn't want his wife to work in a corporate sector or somewhere where she can achieve her freedom. In that case, if she is doing well in her career and then but she is very much like career oriented and she wants to do something in her life, what suggestion would you give to those girls who wants to switch their career from the corporate sector by by hearing their heart or under the pressure of the society, you can say?
That's a very good question, Rajni. I think, in the current times, we need to be very, very reflective. Girls, we are, as women, we are feeling more empowered with every passing day, but at the same time, we do have families still, whether our cousins, our sisters, our friends who are dealing with those kind of situations where they are in a marriage situation, and they want to shift, but they are not allowed to because of the amount they're earning probably in their current career, or the fact that, it will add pressure to the family situation in terms of their time commitment. So I think most important thing is an open communication. Open communication with the family members is definitely a crucial step. At the same time, doing your own research, you're able to convince family only when you are convinced yourself. One is pursuing your heart's desire. And what worked, for example, even with my husband, was telling him exactly what I wanted and how I'm going to achieve what what is really out there. So having that open communication, but doing that research beforehand, and talking to more and more people, getting on board, some more ideas. And another thing that becomes very important in career changes, also being clear about the financial outcomes of both sides, and being open about that as well. If you're going to take a hit on the income initially, you need to be able to have that cushion at at your disposal so that you can do the change. And I changed from a working, job situation to a business situation. So again, you have to allow that time for yourself. And so one advice that I give when people are considering career change is also to not give up the job until you are very sure about your opportunities. That becomes very important because it can have an impact on your mental health as well if you leave too early. Yeah, that's
So well
what I
said,
would
ma'am.
suggest.
I'm coming to Dr. Anjali Nigam, ma'am. When we are talking about these challenges and what are the possibilities here, now we have seen that most of the youngsters, they have been into so many social medias, and they are like people don't want to work hard. They want to work smart. But hard work is the key to success. We all know that. But youngsters are like, we will do trading or we will start our startup and we will become successful. So, ma'am, what you want to say to those youngsters? Because now we have seen that startups, since you are working with the startups, so this has came to my mind that you will be the right person to answer this question. The startups, starting a startup is okay. This is a very good opportunity in the across the world. But again, startup has a risk. So, what advice do you want to give the youngsters, and what are the means keys? What important keys one should follow in order to start their startups?
Okay, that's a good, wonderful question, and thank you so much for asking, Rajni. In fact, I would first like to, use the line of Eric Hofer. He says it is the learner who inherits the future. It is the learner who inherits the future while the learned lives in a world that no longer exists. Now, the learner and the learned. So these are the two different categories of people which we have. It can be, it can be youngsters, it can be people like us, it can have very old people. So what it means is basically it is a very, very dynamic world. It is absolutely volatile world, and it changes so fast that we need to be constantly learning. We can never call ourselves, I am learned. मैं बस ये अच्छा मैंने सीख लिया, अब मैं बस यही करूंगा या करूंगी. Now that is something, these discussions have been very, very interesting. In fact, the inputs by your other experts have been really, really useful, I think, very pertinent. So I wanted to bring, the attention of the students to, first of all, the most important P. There are 3 P's which I need to kind of focus on. But for me, the first P is most important, that is purpose. तो अगर वो स्टार्टअप करना है या स्टॉक में जाना है या ट्रेडिंग करना है या सोशल मीडिया में भी बहुत बड़े बड़े करियर्स हैं वो करना है, बट you have to actually pen down and actually get down to the purpose, what you want to serve in your life. What is that calling in from inside what you feel? For that, I have developed a 360-degree model of feedback. Right, so that kind of very, very simple model, but it is a very, very exhaustive, in-depth model, which helps a person, a student, a youngster, or even people like us to understand who we actually are, what do we want, and because there are, each one of us has 4 personality windows. So one window is I know, and the world also knows. My name is Anjali. Everybody knows. I also know. Second window is what I know, what the world knows, I don't know. No, sorry, what I know and the world doesn't know. So there are some things about me which I don't want to tell everybody. That is fine, the second window. The third window is very critical, where the world knows about me and I don't know about myself. So that window needs to be investigated. Because that is a very scary thing, because a lot of things I may be doing and I may be perceived by some people outside as somebody else, which I am not, right? So my body language, my way of talking, my way of communicating, my way of doing things, my choice of career or my choice of things. So that is why I always recommend. I cannot advise, as somebody was saying from Netherlands, that आजकल बच्चे are more very intelligent, they're very high, IQs and EQs, so they make their own choices. So we can't advise them. We can't advise them, but we can certainly kind of recommend. We can tell them this. See, ये कर सकते हो. तो 360-degree मॉडल ऑफ जो फीडबैक है उसमें हम अब इसको मैं अभी इस समय बहुत थोड़ा टाइम है पर इसको मैं आप चाहेंगी तो मैं इस पे पूरा अच्छा एग्जॉस्टिव सेशन कर सकती हूँ बच्चों के लिए क्योंकि ये बहुत यूजफुल है. This is all these methodologies have been specially developed by me and tested over thousands of students from universities and colleges. So this is these models really work. So purpose वहां से मिलेगा उसको अपना.
And
Purpose
do you
मिलेगा.
really think that startups are the new age world? Startups can change the world, and in spite of having risk, the candidates should take that risk and should start the startups, should invest their time and money in the startups.
Good question again. I would say, देखिए स्टार्टअप्स मैंने इसलिए कहा पर्पस के लिए क्योंकि दो तरह के स्टार्टअप्स होते हैं. एक होता है पर्पस जो है सोशल पर्पस ड्रिवन है ना, एंड द सेकंड वन इज बिजनेस ऑब्जेक्टिव. सो इफ आई एम प्योरली प्रॉफिट ड्रिवन, business driven, I will go for a startup like Amazon or like a Zepto or any other like Big Basket or any which gives me faster incomes and I am able to just make I make money. Now second startup is, of course, all of them have purpose behind. It is fulfilling a very dire need. These Zeptos and Big Baskets are doing a very, very important service to the society. But they are actually, when you see a social startup, so social startup is basically where you are trying to understand the pain points of the society, of a specific segment, like for example, agriculture. If you say agriculture, then so many, some few years back, so many farmers were committing suicide. Now, why do they commit? So you have to get down into that problem, that issue, and then find out what are the various things. So now we we have a company which is doubling farmers' profits now because it is a paradox of plenty kind of a thing. जब बहुत बारिश होती है तो फिर फसल बहुत अच्छी होती है तो भी मार्केट में प्राइस कम हो जाता है और जब जो है फसल अच्छी नहीं होती है तो कम होता है, फसल ही कम होती है तो प्राइस हाई होता है लेकिन उसको रिटर्न कम मिलता है फिर भी. सो पैराडॉक्स ऑफ प्लेंटी. सो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से हियर is that social startup, if you want to, so purpose is very important. But as you're rightly saying, is this the right time for startups? Should we take the risk? Yes, we should take the risk. If your heart is there, if you feel that is the purpose you want to go behind, please let them do it. But I would still recommend, don't just leave your studies. Studies के साथ में startup करते हैं बच्चे, वो बहुत अच्छा रहता है. क्यों? क्योंकि मैंने देखा है कि वो हम लोग वहाँ पे कॉलेजेस में प्रोफेसर्स होते हैं, इंक्यूबेटर्स होते हैं, तो गाइडेंस भी उनको मिलता है. वहाँ पे उनके लैब्स होते हैं, उसमें वो अपने आइडियाज भी टेस्ट भी कर सकते हैं, पैसा भी उनका खर्चा नहीं होता और पढ़ाई के साथ धीरे धीरे वो उस लेवल पे आइडिया परिपक्व हो जाता है बाय द टाइम दे आर एबल टू दे कम आउट ऑफ कॉलेजेस. Right? So that is one very good idea. But at the same time, today the startup ecosystem has become wonderful. It's really enabling now. Especially in India, if you see, we are the third, the best as far as the startups is concerned. We are the third with the highest number of startups in the world after US, China, right? So we had almost 100 to 150 unicorns. I think sometime back I checked the data. So 100 तो बहुत पहले ही हो गया था unicorns. तो अब इतना फंडिंग है, इन्वेस्टमेंट्स हैं, इस तरह के इंक्यूबेटर्स हैं, इस तरह के मेंटरिंग है. वी हैव plethora of such specialized services. We have in my incubator I had tie-ups with the American incubator. I had tie-ups with the all the Indian national level incubators. So what I'm trying to say is we get support from, I had tied up with IIT Kanpur incubator. So we have support from everywhere. कोई जरूरी नहीं आप सब अपना आपको चाहिए. So you will get all that in. It is such an enabling environment. So it is worth taking the risk. You don't need to spend your own money on it. But very important thing of caution, which I would like to say, and then end my talk here. Always validate. आप जिस आइडिया पे काम करना चाहते हैं वो ये मत समझ लीजिए आपने सोच लिया तो बहुत अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा, आपने अपने फ्रेंड्स को बात कर लिया थोड़ा और अच्छा, लेकिन अपने फैमिली में बात कर लिया थोड़ा और अच्छा, नेबर से बात कर ली थोड़ा और अच्छा, कि हाँ भाई ये आइडिया, इसकी जरूरत है, इस सोल्यूशन की जरूरत है, तो हम इस पे काम करना चाहते हैं. वेरी गुड. बट unless and until I keep validating my idea with the customer who's actually my customer. और पता है क्या होता है, कितनी बार ऐसे स्टार्टअप्स 99% 90% ऑफ द स्टार्टअप्स व्हाई डू दे फेल? उसमें से एक बहुत बड़ा कारण ये है कि वो अपने कुछ उनको कुछ प्रॉब्लम दिखी, इतने इमोशनली वो ड्रिवन होते हैं ये स्टार्टअप फाउंडर्स कि वो लोग उसमें लग जाते हैं, अपना पैसा भी लगा देंगे, अपनी एनर्जी भी लगा देंगे, इतना टाइम और जब तक वो जाते हैं वो नीड ही नहीं होती मार्केट में, वो मार्केट में नीड ही नहीं होती, वो खत्म हो गया होता है, वो मार्केट ही नहीं है उसका. तो आप ये समझो कि व्हेन आई वाज एट IIT Madras वी फेस दिस huge challenge. This was actually the challenge which was there, and that is when I started bringing the business perspective to past startups, and that is when Padam Shri Jhunjhunwala was like, when I was leaving, he said, Anjali, what you could do with here I could never have done, because giving that business perspective, giving that, what is that business perspective? That get your idea continuously validated by the actual end user, come back, modify it, again start making that हम उसको कहते हैं MVP1, जैसे मिनिमम वायबल प्रोडक्ट, पहले लेवल पे बनाओ, फिर जाओ, फिर टेस्ट करो मार्केट में जो तुम्हारे कस्टमर हैं उसके साथ, कम से कम 100 लोगों के साथ, 500 लोगों के साथ, वापस आओ, उसका फीडबैक लेके फिर उसको अगर मॉडिफिकेशन की जरूरत है फिर यू मेक इट योर MVP2, एंड देन अगेन. सो 3 स्टेजेस में, थर्ड स्टेज इज प्रोटोटाइपिंग. फिर वो उस लेवल पे आता है कि हाँ भाई कुछ चलता हुआ मॉडल दिखता है, दैट इज द प्रोटोटाइप. और फिर आप उस लेवल पे जब आप उसको टेस्ट करते हो, देन वी स्टार्ट पायलट्स. So that what I'm trying to say here is continuous validation with the customer need, the actual customer is very important. Your idea valuation, your validation, and your actual product validation. Then chances of failure become very less, and that is when your ideas is showing that it will work and it is going to फिर आपके 5 साल में 2 साल में इतने it's going to collect so many millions, this is the kind of traction which is going to show, then automatically the investors will come here. But my son the elder son is from IIT Bombay, and he just at idea, ये जो मैंने आपको टर्न कंपनी बताई वो उसी की कंपनी है, उसने Cars 24 इंडिया में किया था, उस लेवल पे लाके फिर उसने उसको छोड़ा. Cars 24 का ही वाज वन ऑफ द फाउंडिंग मेंबर्स. फिर उसके बाद उसने इमो कैपिटल यहाँ पे लंदन में बनाई, 1.5 बिलियन की जब वो हो गई कंपनी, फिर उसके बाद वो छोड़ के उसने यहाँ पे ये टर्न शुरू किया. अब टर्न का क्योंकि उसने ये गैप इतना बड़ा देखा कि लोग 30-30 लाख दे रहे हैं यहाँ पे नर्सेज आने के लिए इंग्लैंड में, और फिर भी उनको गलत वीजा दिया जा रहा है, और यहाँ आके वो ऑपरेशन थिएटर की नर्स वो फाइनली वो घर में उसके नैनी है, मेरे बेटे के घर के बच्चों को देख रही है, और शी कांट वर्क नाउ बिकॉज शी गॉट अ रॉन्ग वीजा. सो देयर इज सच अ लॉट ऑफ गैप here in this healthcare system. So he started this company. Now on this idea, why I'm telling this, because this is very important. कि अगर आपका idea वो दिखा सकता है कि this is the kind of need it is going to fulfill, this is the kind of traction it is going to bring in, right? So वो investors अपने आप उसमें interest हो. तो $3 million he could get from Germany just on the idea, without any business plan, just on the idea. Of course business plan दिखाना पड़ता है. तो वो और उसमें क्या है, वो जो जर्मन चांसलर अभी पहले के थे, एक्स जर्मन चांसलर जैसे हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर होते हैं आप सब, वो तो ऑफ कोर्स आई डोंट नीड टू टेल यू. सो द जर्मन चांसलर हैज आल्सो इन्वेस्टेड इन दिस कंपनी. सो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से इज लाइक पर्पस अपना ढूंढो, understand, take the feedback. I will give a very simple model if you want, very simple model from all domains in which I live my life. Try to take feedback, understand your purpose, go behind that purpose. If you want to go for a startup, which is a good time to start when you're still in college, because that is the time you have all the support, right? Do it. Get your idea validated continuously, and so that when you're by the time you are actually ready to launch your startup, you have your idea totally validated. You have all the support. You have all the mentoring done, and you are very confident that yes, now I'm ready. Thank you so much. Sorry for taking so much of time.
Your insights are really incredible, and it will help our youngsters to understand the values of startups. Now, coming to Dr. Tisha Patel, I would like to ask you that being a doctor, you have faced definitely doctor itself is a very big, I can say, profession. But in spite that, being a woman, there are challenges too. So, would you like to tell our audience about the purpose of choosing this career and also the challenges you faced, and also what advice would you give to our youngsters so that if they want to pursue their career, what key points should they keep in their mind while coming to this profession?
Okay, thank you. The challenges. I suppose the challenges with medicine in the UK was from the start moving away from home and being born of Asian birth. So that was a hurdle in itself. Family wanted me to stay nearby, but I went all the way to Scotland from London. So that was the first hurdle or the challenge. And then after completing 6 years at medical school, of course, it was time to get married or come back down. But it was hard to get jobs around London when you work away. So that was the second challenge, not being able to get jobs closer by, but living away. I did marry, and I married a doctor and a GP. I pursued surgical training in the first instance, but realized that it was going to be hard with two of us wanting to be training as doctors in the UK. So that was another challenge. So I immediately switched to family medicine as well. The other thing was I wasn't truly happy with my career. There was something missing. And I suppose my husband is, I know we've been talking about children being not forced, but pushed into medicine. And I think he truly was forced. So a challenge that I've personally experienced is being married to somebody who isn't happy doing what he does. And it's always been like that way. I married him. I met him on, my husband's of Kenyan origin, Indian, but Kenyan. And he was probably pushed into medicine. And when he came to the UK, when we got married, I was like, well, do what you want. Do what your heart tells you. But he felt that he needed to earn the money, even though both of us were working. And even now, 20 years on, he's still not truly happy with what he does. So that's been the biggest challenge. And for myself, I'm happy doing what I am. I am a generalist. I'm happy working. I work part-time as a doctor, but I have pushed myself. I know we've had lots of discussion about how you find your purpose. I have gone with being coached and self-coaching myself to find out what my true passion is, what my motivation in life is. And my purpose, I find, is in motivating others. And so whatever I do in my career pushes to that side of things. So I found my purpose, but he's still struggling. So the advice, your second part, is the advice I would give to youngsters. It's the same advice I give to my children. So I've got an 18-year-old and a 13-year-old. And in my household, we don't pressurize for exams. We don't provide tuition. We help in-house, but we go with what they are good at. And they've grown up to know exactly where they want to be. I know Muktaji mentioned social media, and I agree with you. They know more these days. I don't remember feeling at the age of 18, I wanted to do medicine. I needed guidance at that age. And that was only 25, 26 years ago. But they know what they want. At the age of 16 or 17, she knew she wanted to do architecture. That's my 18-year-old. And I think that comes through social media. My son he still excels at everything, but he excels at playing the saxophone and maths, etc. But we don't decide that you're going to do medicine. In fact, they see the challenges we've experienced, moving through different places, different homes, in order to take the next job. The need for childcare from 7 in the morning till 7 at night. So that sort of, not being home for them. So they've seen us do that and work hard. And so I think in their heart, they know that they don't want to be doctors. They may want to be engineers, but I know my daughter did choose engineering for GCSE. I don't know how, but but she did. So I suppose those are the challenges I faced and how I brought up my children to be different. And I suppose I try and coach them in my own way, being a coach, and lead by example within the household, because I still pursue my interests and I lead multiple careers. So like I said, I'm just a part-time GP, but I do on the side, I lead coaching business. I lead digital self-coaching programs for youngsters, teenagers wanting to choose their careers, to give them a focus, like Anjali Ji said, to find their purpose. So coaching directed for them to find out what their strengths are, what their values are, what their purpose is, to find something for themselves to believe in. So that's how things have been for me.
Wonderful said. But again, I have a question, right? Most of time we have seen that we start with a career and then something happens and we have to change or switch our career. At that time, there is a great mental challenges one has to go through. So being a life coach, what advice would you like to give? Because at that point, it is very difficult to hold the person, as the person has to think of his financial stability, his family responsibility, as well as his own dreams. So considering these three states, the person could not be in the proper state, and then the destruction happens. So being a life coach, what advice would you give to those people who are suffering from this kind of problem? Or I would like to say, if this situation happens in somebody's life, I would pray it doesn't happen, but life is very unpredictable and we can't say that. If it happens, what they should do in order to get back to their original state, or they can gain their state?
Okay, so first of all, just to correct Rajni ji, I'm not a life coach. I'm a career coach, executive career coach. So there is a slight difference. My coaching is more business oriented and more well-being focused. So to get back to whatever state that they're in, or to seek wellness, I would say they needed to do a few things. First of all, they need to talk about it, communicate it openly. They need to find a mentor that they trust to seek advice from. If they aren't being coached, a coach may be able to help. And the last thing that I found helpful is you need to work on your well-being. Okay. Without that, I think everything falls apart. And my coaching is very much focused on well-being. Without being able to know what your thoughts are and what your feelings are, you can't really move on to your actions. That's the way I feel things are, and how my work moves on as a coach. I also think that there are different practices that can help you progress. And I do believe there's a power in gratitude journaling, to lay out your ideas, to find happiness in little things when your mind and your body and your feelings are all astray. I also think emotions journaling, or even journaling, is very helpful to get a grasp on how you're feeling, what's going through your mind, and to find the reasons. And also, I suppose I'm a huge believer in mindfulness and meditation in order to create calm as well. So those are the things that I would say are helpful.
Yeah, gratitude is very, very important, because without being gratitude, we can't, we have to be grateful because we are alive. And this is the greatest strength we have today. After COVID, when people, millions of people have died and we are alive, we are with our family, we are here today discussing about the careers. So gratitude is very, very important. Then again, I would like to come to Muktaji, and I would like to ask you that how does rapid transformational therapy that you have mastered in help in changing the belief system?
That's a wonderful question. Thank you so much. To start with and to continue with what Dr. Tisha was saying, I am myself an example to that. I changed into therapy thing in my 40s. Like we have Abha here, right? So I have been into teaching throughout, like for almost 20 years, and that was computer science. I'm a PhD in computer science. And from there, coming on to this place where I had to change to a different career. Like I said, people don't know what their purpose is. It is so hard because being in India, like the same drill, this is what you can do. And when I was in that time, I think computer science was in the boom. So, okay, computer science, MCA, then get into PhD. And there I was, but I was not happy. Like your husband, Dr. Tisha. I was not happy in that place. Like I wanted to be, my purpose was to be with students. That made me happy when I was mentoring them, when I was guiding them, but I was not getting that, okay, if not teaching, then what? Because back in India, you never get time to pursue your passion. You really don't know what your passion is. So it took me really long to understand that, okay, if I am not doing teaching, then what do I do? What is it that actually gives me that kind of motivation and purpose that I can really go ahead and do? And that is where rapid transformation therapy came into existence. And I was looking into it that, we all know as a wellness coach before this, everybody knows, that this is what I have to do. This is just little going off track, like weight loss. That is where I started with it, that, okay, and everybody knows we have to exercise, we have to, eat this and do this, but it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because, again, I need to go back to my belief system, which we do not do. So rapid transformation therapy is something that is the fastest. It is a combination. We call it rapid for the same reason, because unlike other therapy sessions where we keep on going for sessions for months and months, talking about the same thing again and again, rapid transformation therapy, short form RTT, actually is something that directly taps into your subconscious mind. And when you are tapping into subconscious mind, you are not moving around and around the same problem, but you are working on the core root system, that what is it that is leading you to where you are. And once you are there, once you know the problem, then you know the solution also. Your subconscious is very much there and it knows all the solutions. But the problem is we do not sit with ourselves. We do not sit with ourselves and tell our mind or brain that, see, this is what I want. The day I do that, my brain will take me there. My mind will get me there. But we don't do that. We don't have time for that. The moment we are free, again, I'll come to the same thing. We have so much distractions these days, whether it is television, whether it is our phones, that the moment I'm free, I am on my phone. I don't even get the time to sit. So that is where, again, meditation, sitting with yourself, getting into that belief system comes into picture. And RTT is a brilliant tool for that, because just in one session, you can directly tap into your subconscious, shutting down your logical thinking mind for a while, and just go there and see, because we use all the things. We use hypnotherapy, we use regression, we use CBT, we use healing, we use neurosciences. So it's a combination altogether put in one thing. So it works really fast. And once you know and you tell your brain, this is what I want, you can get there. You don't need anybody else after that. So that is how RTT helps in this particular thing.
So it's a you can say it's we can activate our subconscious mind and we can manifest our dreams. So RTT
Subconscious
can be
mind
worked
is
like
always
that.
active. Subconscious mind, it is 95% time. What we do, how we act, how we, say whatever we say, it is all subconscious. But we don't tap into it. We don't connect to it. That is the problem. So it helps you to connect there and get to that belief root system that this is what it is. And that is, once you know the root problem, then we all are intelligent human beings. We don't need anybody else to guide us to what we want to go and how we want to do it. So then it becomes much easier.
Okay. So now we are coming to Priya ji. Being a financial strategist, what is the financial strategist role of social media, and also can you bring some common misconceptions and myths about working in the financial industry that you would like to debunk?
So firstly, I'm not a financial strategist, I'm a financial advisor. So if you were to buy a property, any form of property, be it commercial, residential, for investment purposes or personal purposes, to live in, or land or development, then you would call upon me. I love what I do because it allows me the flexibility, and also you can do it from home, you can do it anywhere in the world, and it's a good interaction with people and businesses. So I don't just focus on individuals, I focus on individuals as well as businesses and companies. So I enjoy all of that. When I mentor and educate people on finance, it's basically if they've got themselves into a bit of a pickle, in the sense of they've got themselves into some kind of financial mess. So I help them navigate them through that. Unless it's a startup business and I'm educating them as to what they need and what the requirements are. Can you just repeat your second question?
What are the misconceptions about this industry? Because most of time our parents or our elders have said that there is a very much risk in financial industry, so we have to be careful, we have to be full of knowledge. So can you break the misconception, can you break the myths of being into the financial industry, and also how financial industry is helpful in 2024?
Well, financial industries are helpful in 2024 because of, firstly, with the interest rates going up and the economy being so unstable, it gives you a good idea of what's going on and how to tackle it, and how to budget yourself and forecast for the future, whether you're an individual, a homeowner, or you're an investor, or you're a business owner. So it's really, really important for you to know and maintain what's going on in your finances, be it in any shape or form. There is a misconception that it is a very male-dominated job, which it was many years ago, but I think that is sort of like fizzling out now, with the sense of a lot of women are joining the industry, and they are taking sort of more control over their finances and being far more financial literal. They understand them far better. As in, there was a time in potentially our parents and grandparents' generation where the man went out to work and he was the sole breadwinner, and the woman stayed at home, and she sort of like did the house chores, should we say, the domestic duties. So now it's really good that people are becoming more in control of their finances, and I think it's a good industry to go into, especially if you are a homemaker and you want to be there for the children. It allows you that flexibility, and it also allows you to choose when and whom you're seeing when you need to. And you don't need to stop working even if you're on holiday. I'm not saying take your laptops on holiday with you and just work. What I'm saying is you've got that flexibility. Allows me to have that flexibility. If I want to take a day off, I can take a day off. I might be sort of like working till the early hours the day before or the next day, but at least it gives you that flexibility. And I shouldn't think there should be any misconceptions about going into finance, because the world revolves around it. None of us can live or cope or manage without it. So if we were all to have a basic understanding or form of understanding of our finances, it would help everyone, in not just when you're old and grey, but throughout your whole life. From the minute you're born, actually, you need money, or you need some form of understanding of finances.
So, so well said, ma'am. That's finance industry is also a leading industry in 2024. And if anyone is willing to pursue their career in the finance industry, they should try their hands out. So as we are heading out of the time, it's already 1 hour and you all might have your work. So thank you so much for joining tonight. And we had a very wonderful session. All the beautiful speakers have shared their experiences and all the beautiful insights. I hope our audiences have learned a lot today, and they will apply this in their future, and they will be out of the dilemma that in which career they should choose, and they will pursue their dream, and everybody will have a wonderful career. Career counseling is a big subject. We cannot cover it in a day, so we need more sessions. Hope to have more sessions on career counseling with more speakers here. With this, I would like to wind up our session. Thank you for joining at the IIW Career Counseling event. It's the key to the successful career lies within us. And let us keep exploring, learning, and growing together. So with this, I wish everybody a great day. And thank you so much once again for joining. This is me signing off. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank
Rajni.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It was lovely
Thank
to
you.
be
Nice
here
to
with
meet
you all.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks.